suddenly... Oh, wait. There we go. That's what I wanted. We could come out with a rainbow coffee. But it would just have to be the packaging. Because if you had rainbow-colored coffee, it would just turn brown. You just wind up with brown coffee. And also, don't they... Oh, God. Hold up. They sell... They're at the grocery store, the creamers that they sell, like they're starting to do stuff with candy and cereal now. Like I think I saw at one point in time you could get Fruity Pebbles coffee. You know what I'm saying? You could do like there's Almond Joy, Snickers, M&Ms now. Like they're coming out with all these flavors. In my fridge right now is like a Hershey's caramel coffee creamer. No matter what you do to coffee, it's just going to turn out brown. Unless you just add a bunch of creamer, then it just kind of turns out tan. So, I don't know. I guess coffee can't be gay. Coffee's got to be canceled. It can't be gay. It could be fruity. Like Fruity Lucky Charms. Do I want Fruity Charms... Or Fruity Charms. Do I want Lucky Charms candy? Or, I mean, coffee, though? I don't know if I do. Lucky Charms coffee just sounds gross. I was already struggling with, like, the M&M's coffee. And, like, I will never, ever try. Like, I like my coffee. If I add creamer to it, I want it to taste... And I do add creamer. I'm not one of those black coffee drinkers. I don't know. Y'all can make fun of me all you want. I don't care. I don't care. Black coffee is not for me, man. I like to add some sort of creamer to it. I don't like sugar in it. I just want creamer. Whether it's half and half or whatever. But the two flavors that I really like in my coffee are cinnamon and or coconut. Coconut coffee is really great. But I mean, like, I just can't... I struggle with all the other, like, sweet flavors. I really do. Good morning, Amtrue. How are you guys doing? What's up, noob? John Kerry? John Kerry? Oh, no. Lucky Charms coffee is a thing. I think... Hang on. We gotta do a little investigation. Cereal coffee creamers. Yeah, Fruity Pebbles is one. Fruity Pebbles is one. Let's see. International Delight has a Peeps flavored coffee? Nah, bro. Nah. Oh, yeah. They got Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which I've had that. It's not half bad. They were out of just, like, regular cinnamon coffee creamer at one point in time, so I was like, all right, I'll try the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, see where this goes. And it wasn't half bad. But they got me messed up with that Fruity Pebbles creamer. I do not understand why. This is the most American breakfast I've ever seen. I do not understand why anyone wouldn't have it. But they keep putting it back on the shelves. Yeah, here's the M&M ones. I don't understand it. I really don't. I could never do it. I could never do it myself. They have the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, but, I mean, I would try that. Come on. Yeah, this is not... There's something wrong with this. It is a plus being in charge, which is a positive and a negative. Things go great, you get the credit. Things go wrong, you still get the credit. Snickers isn't half bad. I've tried the Snickers, though. Oh, and they do Rice Krispie treats. Oh, and a Funfetti. Oh, Funfetti. I don't know about that one. I used to be a security guard, too, Andrew. Believe it or not. I used to be a security guard. I was a manager at a security guard company that my family owned. That's why I was the manager. Stop talking about work. I'm going on strike. We're just... This isn't work. We're talking about candy coffee. Lucky Charms hot cocoa good. Haven't tried the new oatmeal. I just don't know if Lucky Charms would be a good coffee flavoring. I'll try it. I'll try it. I'll try anything once. Well, not anything. But, you know, there are a lot of stuff that I will try. I just don't think... I'm just not betting on it being good, man. Dr. Pepper for my caffeine. I can't drink Coke in the morning is the issue. If I do, I get a bad stomach ache. It's fine. Mentalist fans are afraid of when John and I greet each other in other streams. Or a better Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavor for your coffee called Rum Chata. Ooh! Rum Chata. What if we move on to coffee candy? Would that be better? Coffee candy. You make a coffee flavor out of anything. Dude, coffee ice cream is my favorite. I'm not kidding. I go... Any joint where you can go and create your own creation, like marble slab or something like that. Coffee ice cream is like what I like immediately go to. There's some... dating all the way back to like when my mom used to come home with ice cream for us all. Like we all had our own pints. And she would get me like cookies and cream, you know, because that's what you eat when you're a kid, cookies and cream ice cream. She would have her Haagen-Dazs pint of coffee ice cream. And then after a while I was like, "Mom, I don't want the cookies and cream. I want the coffee." I like the coffee flavored ice cream. I was like 9 or 10. Chocolate chip is the best ice cream. I just too much chocolate for me. Too much chocolate for me. Not that I don't mind chocolate chip, but if I'll eat it, I'll definitely eat it if you hand it to me. But I probably won't like it half as much as like a coffee ice cream or something like that. You take some coffee ice cream, you throw in like some Reese's peanut butter cups, maybe. You know, maybe a little bit of caramel. Coffee flavored beer is good. Yes, it is. Susie is 100% correct on that. Coffee flavored. There's a brewery called brewery. There's a brewery called the 512 in Austin, and their coffee stout is just it's chef's kiss good. And you can only find it in various restaurants around Dallas. Like you have to go in and hope that they've got it. It used to be in Waco at this place we used to go to quite a bit when I lived there. I would get it, and I like after about a beer and a half of those, you're feeling a little tipsy. It's strong, but damn, it's good, dude. Thanks for shouting out, Susie. Noob, really appreciate it. Happy corporate pretend to care day or month, I guess. We're now in the midst of a bunch of corporations changing their logos to pride flags, or at least pride flag oriented, because they are all super gay. Everyone's gay right now. Every corporation, car maker, video game company, it doesn't matter, like a Snickers, M&M, Nestle, they're all gay. They're all gay now. Happy Pride Month. Why are they gay? Because money. They can make money off of being gay. That's why they're gay. They don't really care. We know that, right? We all know that by now. They don't really care. I wanted to kind of talk about that today. Also, I don't know if y'all saw it yesterday, but Star Wars thinks you're racist. They think you're racist. Apparently, a lot of people are unhappy with the new Obi-Wan Kenobi character, Reva. But in this day and age, there's no such thing as legitimate criticism. It has to come from a place of racism, right? So we're going to talk about that. But also, I said that we were going to do this on Monday, and I never got around to it, which I feel bad about, but we're going to make up for it today. Viewer suggestions. I've had 2 come to me so far. If you have a viewer suggestion of something you want me to talk about, then throw it at me. Throw it at me. Because sometimes, chat just needs to control the show. Not that is an idea, Susie. Someone would buy it. Remember when gay meant happy? Times have changed. Can't Nobi. Let's hear a review since I won't watch it. You want to hear the review? Okay, so I've watched the first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. And because I am an eternal optimist, like an idiot, I thought, you know what? Maybe Disney Star Wars will learn their lesson. Maybe they'll do something that really blows my mind. It's happened in the past. Dave Filoni, I feel like he can't miss this guy. when it comes to Star Wars. Jon Favreau, I think they actually do care. I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni actually do care about the Star Wars universe. They want to make good Star Wars content. However, they are under the control of one Kathleen Kennedy and a very woke Disney. So everything that they produce is going to have that pressure on them. And sure enough, I was correct. Now, a lot of people, yours truly, it also, predicted that there would be a bait and switch, which is something that's happening quite a bit lately in our woke culture when it comes to brands, franchises, shows that you loved from the past being brought back. They bait you with your nostalgia, and then they swap it out, and they make it woke. They make a main character out of a background character that they feel that they can kind of make into a carrier for their message. The message, if you will, as the drinker calls it. So, that's exactly what's going on right now with Obi-Wan Kenobi. To give you a quick rundown that I'm going to keep as spoiler-free as possible. Obi-Wan Kenobi is currently on Tatooine, watching over Luke as he grows up. And he has a plan that when he becomes of age, he's going to train Luke. Yet, for some reason, Obi-Wan Kenobi has lost more or less his... I wouldn't say he lost his connection to the Force, but he struggles to use it now. Like, he's so rusty. He's rusty with the Force now, one of the most powerful Jedis in the world. So, also, he is trying to distance himself from anything Jedi-ish, yet, despite this, he seems to want to be able to train Luke as a Jedi. It doesn't make any sense. So, if you're looking for the Obi-Wan of the prequels, or the Obi-Wan of even just the original trilogy, a man who is strong with the Force because he believes in it, he has all this knowledge and care for the Force, you're not going to find it in this show. Instead, what you are going to find is Obi-Wan Kenobi's time being split with a character named Reva. Reva is a, I'm just, here. This is Reva. Reva is a black woman in the new Star Wars. This is her. In the new Star Wars universe, if you will. And she is exactly probably what you think that she would be in a Disney Star Wars flick nowadays. She is a Mary Sue. She's more powerful than everyone, more clever than everyone. She can do no wrong. Even though she's the bad guy. People on the left, the woke culture idiots, think that she's just the best. Everyone else, however, every Star Wars fan that I have seen, and the vast majority of Star Wars fans, are angry because she's a horribly written character. And Obi-Wan is not the neutering of Obi-Wan doesn't make this any better. So Obi-Wan is splitting his time with Reva, a character that is sloppy. It's a sloppy character. Now, some people are commenting on the fact that the actress who plays her is just a bad actress. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think she's doing half bad with what she's got. So it's not boiling down to the actor or the actress here. It's boiling down to bad, sloppy writing. And that's what a lot of people were mad about. But I wanted to make... It almost seemed way too quick for them to come out with this, oh, everyone is racist toward Reva. Because if you see the comments, people aren't being racist. Many, the vast majority, have legitimate criticisms. And they came out with that everyone is racist story really fast. For those of you who didn't see it, what ended up happening is Disney Star Wars came out with a tweet. It said, "We are proud to welcome Moses Ingram to the Star Wars family and are excited for Reva's story to unfold. If anyone intends to make her feel in any way unwelcome, we have only one thing to say. We resist." Then, just to make sure that people got the point, they added a follow-up tweet. "There are more than 20 million sentient species in the Star Wars galaxy. Don't choose to be a racist." Is there a brand that thinks less of its own fan base than Star Wars? Is there? I don't think there is. I really don't think that there is. This is first off, I'm going to get into why I think they did that here in a second, but I want to point something out because Nerdrotic kind of brought this up, and many more people. It gets better, by the way, because Obi-Wan Kenobi himself, Ewan McGregor, decided to leave us a little message all on his own. But here's the interesting part. It is rich for Star Wars and Disney to preach to us about racism. A fan base that is not racist, by the way. I want to point out something. We've been cheering on black people in Star Wars since the 80s. We've had Lando Calrissian out there, played by Billy D. Williams. Deborah Wilson played Sarah Junda very recently, in the video game. She was a Black Jedi Master, and people were cheering her on. She was a well-written character, okay? Mace Windu, played by Samuel L. Jackson, is many people's favorite Jedi. To sit there and say that the only reason that we don't like Reva is because we're a racist fan base or something is demonstrably false. And I want to point something out here. Here, I want to show you guys this. This is the poster for The Force Awakens. Notice Finn here. A character that many of us in the Star Wars fan base consider the most intriguing character in the sequel trilogy. Notice him here. What did Disney do when it came to the Chinese poster? Notice Finn. I'm going to go ahead and zoom this in. If I can. Can I not? Okay. There we go. Notice they relegated Finn to a much smaller space on the poster for the Chinese poster. You know why? Because they didn't want somebody with darker skin color being so prominent. So Disney, the company currently preaching to us, Star Wars Disney, the company preaching to us currently about how we need to not be so racist, is okay with racism if it makes them money. Hypocrisy abounds, my friends. Hypocrisy abounds. Also, just to make sure that we also got the point, I want to point this out to you guys. We had Ewan McGregor. Star Wars tweeted this, a personal message from Ewan McGregor. He wants to say something to you, you Star Wars racists.
This weekend, Star Wars fans made Obi-Wan Kenobi the most watched Disney Plus original series premiere of all time. And for that, I would say a big thank you. And it just goes to show what this family can do when we all pull together. However, it seems that some of the fan base from this influential fan base have decided to attack Moses Ingram online and send her the most horrendous racist DMs. And I heard some of them this morning and it just broke my heart. Moses is a brilliant actor. She's a brilliant woman. And she's absolutely amazing in this series. She brings so much to the series. She brings so much to the franchise. And it just sickened me to my stomach to hear that this had been happening. I just want to say, as the leading actor in the series, as the executive producer on the series, that we stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind. There's no place for racism in this world. And I totally stand with Moses.
Thanks, Obi-Wan. I went in search of these tweets. Search of these tweets that they reportedly had, that they had sent her, reportedly. I couldn't find many. Now, there were a few that they had posted of DMs that says, like, your days are numbered. one that actually had like a racist comment to it. And it was, they posted 3. Now, let's say that there were more. Let's say that there are a dozen. Let's say that there are 2 dozen. Does that make a millions and millions and millions deep fan base guilty of racism? No. It doesn't. It makes it the opposite. It proves that this is not a racist fan base. And it's ridiculous that we have to sit here and endure this finger wagging by a company that has no right to tell us that we're racist, when it itself has practiced racism in the past in broad daylight. Also, I mean, it doesn't stop at Star Wars. Remember that Disney made Mulan, the live-action Mulan, in the shadow of a prison camp and then thanked China for it. Let me tell you why they did this. They did this because fans heard what it was going to be, a bait and switch. They called it out beforehand. They knew going in that this was going to be a woke bait and switch. And as such, Disney Star Wars prepared this campaign to try to lessen the blow and get people outraged so that they'll go see it anyway in defiance of these so-called racists. This is damage control for a badly written story. They knew that fans weren't going to like it, and so they are trying to do what this weasel tactic that the left often does. We're a victim of some sort of racism, some sort of homophobia, some sort of sexism, some sort of bigotry. We're a victim. That way you can paint any criticism that you get with that lens immediately. You can have legitimate criticism, which I've seen the tweets. Many tweets are legitimate criticism or completely non-racist opinion, but they can say through that lens, well, this is only because it's racist. This is Disney Star Wars using its own fan base as a false boogeyman in the closet to try to convince another part of its fan base to come and watch the show almost purely out of spite and to support an actress, a character that is, to be, if I'm being fair, unlikable. And it has nothing to do with her race. Nothing. The character doesn't make sense. The character just comes out of nowhere, super powerful, for some odd reason, more powerful than Obi-Wan freaking Kenobi, who runs in fear of her. In order to fulfill a storyline that is so stupid in the first place about a kidnapped Princess Leia, who y'all gotta. I can't play it on stream because if I do, they're gonna give all the money to Disney Star Wars. But there's this one scene where these kidnappers are trying to kidnap a small child Princess Leia, and she's like lightly running through the forest. They're trying to lightly jog after her, and one of them is stopped because he hits a branch about chest high and goes, oh, and like one of the slowest moments I've ever seen. It is so stupid. It is so bad. They're trying to head off criticism by painting those who are critical of it, the Star Wars fans, as racist. It's bad writing. Okay? It's bad character development already, or de-evolvement, I should say, for Obi-Wan. And they're trying to make up for it. They're trying to cover their own asses by painting their critics as racist. That's all it is. That's all this is. It is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. Speaking of Star Wars, I started playing the Old Republic and made a new character. I just hit random a few times when creating the character. He kind of looks like Brandon. Then that's the character you should use, 100%. And just make him go bad guy the entire. He turned him into a Sith, because that's apparently what I am according to Star Wars. Okay, show us the DMs. Produce the DMs, all of them, every single one. Exactly. Agreed. I saw three that they provided, by the way. They were screenshots that they provided. Show us the DMs. Name names. Show us what they look like. Just lay them all out. Where are they? By the way, and people brought this up, and I was like, that's actually freaking brilliant. Did y'all notice that whenever people really started coming down on Gina Carano, and I mean saying some of the most horrible things about Gina Carano, does anybody remember them coming to her defense? Does anybody remember them sticking up for Gina Carano, a woman who was being attacked by some of the, you can see them right here. Here they are. We have them. Here are the tweets. They really came after her. I mean, some of these are just awful. Eden effing D. I hate you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you never get a job again. Stop being an R word. You're ugly anyway. I hate you effing bitch. Whether or not she's a fascist, she's certainly a fat bitch. Disney needs to fire the C word. You are a dumb bitch. Stop being racist. You're already fat and ugly. I mean, look at these. Be right back. Gonna bully Gina's dumbass. And the guy tweeted a picture of an anime of a gun, someone holding a revolver. Kill yourself, Nazi sympathizer. These are all right here, plain as day. I mean, you can see him. How come we can see Gina Carano's, but not this lady who plays Reva? And yet no one came to Gina Carano's. In fact, they fired her. Anyone want to explain that? By the way, they fired her for a tweet that was not racist and was not bigoted at all. By the way, Gibbs money. Who they didn't fire? They didn't fire Pedro Pascal, the guy who plays the Mandalorian. They didn't fire him. And he tweeted something even worse. He tweeted something, and I say even worse. I mean, he actually did tweet something bad. And along the same lines. Gina Carano said her tweet that got her fired was literally people saying, or her telling people, hey, we shouldn't other each other. We shouldn't delve so deep into politics that we forget that we're each human. And, she compared it to how Nazi Germany, they said, it wasn't just soldiers rounding them up, by themselves. The reason that many Jews were so easy to arrest and capture was because their neighbors were turning them in. The German government had done a very good job of othering the Jewish community. That was Gina Carano's message. We've been down this road before. Let's not do this again. It could lead to some very bad things. You know what Pedro Pascal tweeted out? He tweeted out that the border at Trump's border, where they're separating kids, are just like a Holocaust. It's just like a Nazi Germany concentration camp. Which of those two messages do you think is a fireable offense? To be honest with you, neither, in my honest opinion. People say dumb stuff all the time, especially Hollywood celebrities, but do you honestly think that Gina Carano's tweet was worth firing her over? No, but I can tell you one thing. Gina Carano is definitely more attacked and bullied than Reva. You know how I know that? Because we can see the proof. Prove it, Disney! Stop telling us that we're racist to cover for your own incompetence. That's all I have to say about that. Yep, the base is gone by the middle of the season, my guess. You are reaching a little too dozen using guilt and shaming people by reverse psychology. I said this. I wrote this and I said Disney Star Wars has one more chance. They have one more chance. And if they bait and switch and screw Kenobi up and make this another woke message delivery system, then Disney Star Wars fans are probably out. You can release whatever you want. Fans probably aren't going to come back. And I'm guaranteeing you, it's almost like they said bet and they just made the wokest thing that they possibly could. At least not, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's not the wokest thing that they possibly could make, but they are attaching it to a very woke message. I called a race for not without remorse for not liking Without Remorse on Amazon because I said if they dropped Clancy's name from it, it would have been a good movie. Yeah, you ain't racist, Carrie. Hardening schools and reporting violent students is racist in Cali. Everything is racist if it interferes with the leftist agenda, period. Doesn't matter if that agenda is in politics or if it's in culture. They put Clancy's name on the movie, you expect to be close to the book. No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Even Day After Tomorrow. The Day After Tomorrow, if I remember correctly, it was like Middle Eastern terrorists who were doing all of this, and then they turned it in the movie in Hollywood into a bunch of rich white guys who are also Nazis. They don't respect people in their creations if they can attach a message to it. Look what they're doing to Tolkien. Look at what they're doing to Tolkien right now with the new Lord of the Rings. By the way, I saw the new Lord of the Rings first episode, what it's about. And the opening scene is apparently Galadriel getting bullied. And if you are a Lord of the Rings fan like I am, a Tolkien fan like I am, you'll know how immediately stupid this is going to be. Just with that one phrase. Nope, they didn't care. In fact, they threw her under the bus. Yep, what Gina said that I saw anyways wasn't hateful. I don't understand the backlash. What's up, Half-Baked? The backlash had nothing to do with what she said. Let's make that very clear. The backlash had nothing to do with what she said. The backlash, the firing of Gina Carano had everything to do with Disney trying to appease its woke base and looking for an excuse to do it. That's what that boiled down to. At that point in time, Carano could have sneezed, and they would have said, oh, she sneezed at an appropriate moment, at an appropriate time. How disgusting, she's gone. Like, they were just trying to find any excuse that they could at that point. There's a reminder to not be dicks. They didn't like it. Disney is grooming their cash cows as the children grow up. Gina wanted unison and understanding. Pedro wanted division and wrath. Yeah, perfect. That's well put. But Pedro, he toes the line. He preaches the message. Gina does not. So she's got to go. A very woke message disguised as a TV series. Y'all, I mean, like, if you go back a few years, you would have had people standing Elon Musk on the left. I mean, just straight up, like, this guy has created electric cars. He's trying to save the environment. You know, he's doing all this stuff to make us awesome. And then recently, very recently, once AOC started to attack him for various reasons, that's when people started to turn against Elon Musk. And now it became very super political. And now Elon Musk is like, all right, screw it. I'm right wing now. I'm on the right. And then they're like, oh, Elon Musk is a white supremacist Proud Boy. We've always known it. It's like, no, you know what's funny is Elon Musk hasn't necessarily changed his views per se. I mean, he still has leftist views. Did you see his comments on AR-15s? You know? But the party, the Democrat Party, the left in itself overall, has drifted so far to the left that everyone looks like they're ultra right wing now. A very woke message disguised as a TV series. Welcome to 2020s. Bully Galadriel, not in any book that I read. Dude, no elf. Sorry, if I can get nerdy for just a second. No elf in their right mind would bully Galadriel, even as a child. She's freaking royalty. It's just not. It doesn't work. Pedro has no values. Gina does. Yep. Elon is telling his employees to go back to work and no more remote working or quit. Good. We need more businesses like that. We need that kind of Netflix attitude of, if you don't like it, there's the door. Peace. Bye. Speaking of corporations, just real fast, and then we're going to get into some viewer suggestions I've already received too. LGBT pride. I want to show you guys this, because this, for me, really sums up. You remember, y'all know the video game company Bethesda. They make Elder Scrolls, Fallout series, stuff like that. This is an old example. But every June 1st, they all want to change their logos to some sort of rainbow flag or something like that. But this is the case almost pretty much anywhere you go. Notice that there are pride flags for the Bethesda accounts in various countries that support LGBT, but come down here, Bethesda Russia, Bethesda Middle East. I don't know what TR is, but do you see pride flags, pride flag overlays here on the Bethesda logo in these countries? I thought we were proud. I thought we were standing up for the LGBT community. I thought we had pride in the LGBT community. What's going on, guys? What about, let's check this out. BMW, right? Pride flag. Here, let me give you guys a better look. Mercedes-Benz. Rainbow colored, Mercedes-Benz Middle East. No change. BMW pride flag in the background. BMW Middle East, still the same. Cisco, adopting the pride flag colors for their little lines there. Cisco Middle East, it's still the same. Lenovo, I don't know what that is. Don't care. Middle East, boom, there it is, still the same. And of course, Bethesda. It's every single year. And PlayStation did it too. PlayStation, of course, did it. This month and every month, PlayStation welcomes all players. Happy Pride. All these PlayStation Europe, Australia, US, UK. Cool. Arabia and Russia. No, we're good. We're good on Pride there. Caught in 4K, son. Caught in 4K. Oh, God. There's one thing that I could say to the LGBT community. These people don't care about you. They don't care about you. They never have. It's just a way to get people to think that they care in order for them to hand them more money. Oh, I can jump on board with this company because they're with it when it comes to rights for the LGBT community. They're just so here for us, guys. They're so here for us. They're so progressive. We can get behind a company like that. Really? Do you think they actually care? Because I'm looking at other countries where they're supposed to have pride and be pushing this, and they're not. They're like, no, okay, it's fine. We're not really into LGBT stuff. We're just telling it for the other guys. We're just trying to tell that to the Western guys, Middle Eastern guys, Russian guys. Hey, don't worry about it. We're not really into it. We're not actually into it, okay? All right, we're just telling that. Y'all seen that Mr. Krabs meme? It's like, why did you put the LGBT flag on your logo? Money! They think we're suckers. But the thing is that many people have made it clear that they are. So the hypocrisy is unimaginable and very real. Dude, it is out of this world. I've been to Bahrain and the UAE won't fly. Yeah. Oh, they won't. We have pride when it helps our business. We don't. We don't pander. Lenovo is computer and tech. Okay. If you have suggestions of what to talk about, tweet links and videos to Brandon on Twitter. Please keep video suggestions to less than 3 minutes. Yeah, if you want me to talk about something, Throw it at me. Throw it at me. I've got 2 already that we're going to talk about here in a second, but real fast. I just wanted to show you guys this because I saw a lot of people going, hey, you know how the left is very current thing? They're all about the current thing, right? Almost every... I spent last week getting tweeted relentlessly by leftist accounts that had... They all had, like, blue wave emojis and also the Ukraine flag emoji. They all had it. Almost, well, I should say they all. I mean, I'm exaggerating. But without fail, like the vast majority of them did. Because the left is all about current thing. Ukraine, for some reason, really rallies the left. Like, it just really works well. So, whenever Pride Month started to happen, you had to think, what's going to happen to other current thing? We can't just leave it. We can't just make this thing and the other thing, or like this thing the thing and the other thing not the thing anymore. It doesn't work that way. So what do? Well, the leftists, like you got to reach into the leftist playbook and flip to the chapter of intersectionalism. They have made the war in Ukraine, intersectional with the LGBT cause. Did y'all see that article floating around? Like, I think there was one from Reuters, there's definitely one from NBC. And it's just hysterical that they are trying to merge Pride Month and the Ukraine war. Right? And I kind of wrote about it at redstate.com. Go to redstate.com right now. What I'm about to be talking about is on Red State. Most of the stuff I talk about is on Red State. Also, if you haven't done it yet, please join with the VIP program. You can use promo code MORSE, M-O-R-S-E, on sign up for a discount. It really helps us out. And like the stream, if you haven't done it yet. That also really helps us out. So, it's funny that on June 1st, this story gets released. Right? And apparently it's the story about 2 Ukrainian dudes named Alexander Zuhan and Antonia Romanova. Antonia, I'm assuming that his name was Anton or something like that before. He's trans. I'm just going to read this to you. This is from NBC News. As volunteer fighters, Alexander Zuhan and Antonia Romanova packed for return to active duty. They contemplate the unicorn insignia that gives their uniform a rare distinction, a symbol of their status as an LGBTQ couple who are Ukrainian soldiers, members of Ukraine's LGBTQ community who signed up for the war have taken to sewing the image of the mythical beast into their standard issue epaulets just below the national flag. The practice harks back to the 2014 conflict when Russia invaded the annexed and then annexed the Crimean Peninsula from Ukraine, when lots of people said that there are no gay people in the army. Actor, director, and drama teacher Zuhan told Reuters as he and Romanova dressed in their apartment for the second 3-month combat rotation. So they, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer community, chose the unicorn because it's like a fantastic, non-existent creature. Zuhan said that they're fighting Russia in order to stop it from destroying their culture. And immediately, automatically, I'm seeing a problem with this. Everything that I have read about Ukraine says that they are not very kind to LGBT people over there. They have anti-gay laws in Ukraine that are holding strong. This story that they tell us about these 2 gay or one is trans, does that make the other one gay? I can't keep track of their rules. Reads almost like a Disney movie a little bit. Like they're worried that they're going to go in and they're not going to be accepted by their fellow soldiers, but they are, and they got backpats. Romanova said that the fellow soldiers began calling him Antonia and using his she pronouns. Moreover, there was a lot of backslapping when they joined their unit in Kyiv. They were worried that their commander would be homophobic, but apparently he made it clear that homophobia wouldn't be tolerated. Now, their biggest fear is this. The thing that I'm worried about is that in case I get killed during the war, they won't allow Antonia to bury me the way I want to be buried, Zuhan said. They'd rather let my mom bury me with priest reading silly prayers, but I'm an atheist and I don't want that. Okay. This story has everything that you could possibly want for a pro-LGBT Ukrainian story. Like I said, in the article, this seems to be so convenient of a narrative. So convenient. They're so accepted in Ukraine, a place where LGBT stuff isn't actually accepted. I'm not saying that these soldiers, that there are LGBT soldiers who don't serve. I'm sure that they do because they have to. Ukraine does not accept the idea of, because all men of fighting age have to go fight. They have to. And Ukraine isn't caving into this whole entire, I identify as a woman nonsense. They don't do that. If you're a man, you go fight. They don't care how you identify. And I'm pretty sure many of the soldiers there don't care how you identify either. Can you shoot in the right direction? Can you fight? Will you fight? Will you fight well? I think that's really all they care about. Because their lives are on the line. But they have 2 examples of these soldiers going out, having these unicorn patches on, and making it seem like there's some sort of LGBT revolution happening in Ukraine. Like the military is gay now too. You know what this reminds me of? It's like the left is trying to slap an LGBT logo over the Ukraine war, just like corporations do to their own logos in order to make people feel like they should care. And during Pride Month, eventually someone's going to ask the question, how do the Ukrainians feel about gay people? How does the country feel about gay people? Do they care about gay people? What kind of laws do they have for gay people? Is there equality? There's not. But if they do ask that, they can then point to this story and be like, no, look how accepted they are. Look at how accepted they are. Because they cannot have people turning against something that rallies them to their base. It just seems awfully convenient. You're going to sit here and tell me that none of these guys run into any homophobia, quote unquote homophobia. I hate that word because phobia is not used accurately here. You're going to tell me that they don't run into any trouble? None whatsoever? You're going to tell me that they're just accepted everywhere they go? They get bat pats and thumbs up everywhere they go? I don't think so. This story is too convenient in terms of timing, and it's a bad narrative. It's just it's a non-believable narrative, in my honest opinion. I can't wait for Tarkov right. Tell me what BLM has to do with the so-called LGBT plus community. It's all intersectionalism. Intersectionalism is how they marry one issue to another and reinforce it. Because suddenly, new current thing cannot be disagreed with because new current thing is married to old current thing. And if you don't like new current thing, then you must not like old current thing either. And you better like old current thing. Or you're a racist or a bigot or a sexist. Current thing is married to current thing is married to current thing. That's really what this boils down to. And they had to find a way to marry Ukraine to LGBT Pride Month, especially because people are going to start asking questions. Hey, is the Ukraine great to gays and lesbians and trans people? Nope, not really. Oh, wow, did they just make this up or actually pay someone to promote this? My guess is that they tried to find an actual LBT couple who was fighting, because there are, of course, gay people and, LGBT people in Ukraine. Sure. But my guess is that the media tried to reach out and find a couple and then try to make it seem like this couple were like the main characters in this Ukraine war. For the time being, at least. Because then you can sell Pride Month and the Ukraine war in one little package. One convenient little package. And it just the story just reeks of propaganda. It really does. It reeks of it. I don't believe it. And you know what else? Like, here's the thing. I searched for pictures. I found one picture of the unicorn patch. One. If there are all these soldiers out there wearing the unicorn patch, how come I don't see more? Again, the left loves to play with numbers in order to sell their narrative. And let me be very clear. I don't want the LGBT people to be, you know, made fun of, or I don't want them to be beat up and rejected. Like, if they're fighting, they're fighting. That's great. Cool. I have no problem with the LGBT community. I know a lot of people want to think that I do. I don't. If they're fighting, great. They should. They should fight for their country. And I hope that their soldiers actually do and don't care about where their sexualities lie. But let's not pretend like Ukraine is just so innocent when it comes to LGBT rights. They're pushing that narrative in order to sell it on gay pride. It is the left slapping the gay pride logo or the gay pride flag over the Ukraine war and trying to sell it like a corporation does with its own logo. That's all this is. What rules? They don't need rules. They just make things up. It's like, yeah, no, it's true. When you wish upon a war. They'll make a movie about this couple in Hollywood. Dude, I do not doubt that. In fact, the entire time, I'm just like, I already saw some scenes in my head. Like, they said that their commander says that he won't tolerate homophobia. That's going to translate to a commander standing on top, like on the back of on like a bed of a pickup truck or something, you know, or like a truck for a military truck. And as the soldiers look up and gather around, he's giving a very inspiring speech about how homophobia is wrong. And they're all like, yeah, you know, the LGBT soldiers with the unicorn patches, they're like standing together, they're getting teary-eyed. You need to get Tarkov. It's my favorite game, bro. I play it pretty much every stream, on my other stream. My Twitch stream, twitch.tv/themorse code. They went looking for people to support their story. They had to have. There's no possible way they didn't. Zelensky has shut down Oppo Media and thrown rival political party members in jail. Freedom rings there. Yeah. People need to remember that, look, I hope that Ukraine resists Russia. I do. I'm rooting for Ukraine. You know, I am. But let's not pretend that Ukraine is just some glorious haven of acceptance and tolerance and democracy. And it's like, no, dude. Like, this is a corrupt ass country. It is. And it's not friendly. It's not very friendly to LGBT people. Let's be real. Okay? Welcome back. All right. So, viewer suggestions. This one was sent to me by our own Red. This is apparently Biden in Fallout New Vegas. So, we're going to watch this. I think in the past... Oh, I'm just going to go ahead and play it.
Why don't you get rid of the super PAC that you have right now, which is running very ugly negative ad spells? Don't laugh, Joe. That's just the truth. And they got two other super PACs running ads.
For those of you who have never played any of the Fallout games, or even any of, like, if you've played, speaking of Bethesda, funny enough, if you've never played any of the Elder Scrolls games, like, you have options as to how you can respond to people who interact with you inside the game. And it's kind of funny that they're making this of New Vegas thingy. This is good stuff.
Against us. Why don't you just say right now, go on television and say, hey, you know what? I think in the past, Joe, if I'm not mistaken, you condemned super PACs. Is that correct?
I learned a lot about rad roaches. I have one thing to say. Play Despacito. Will you get rid of the 9 super PACs you have?
You get rid of the 9 super PACs you have?
I don't have 9 super. I don't have any super
9.
PACs.
I actually wish you had just said the Despacito thing. War, never. War, never. You know, the thing. Age 78. Are you my diaper? Because you're full of crap. Age 78 qualifier. You want me to list them? This is brilliant.
You want me to list them?
No, yeah, you go ahead. Let's
Okay. Come on,
Wait.
give me a break.
Wait. No. Come on. What was it? Memory 4 out of 20. Attempt to remember the 9 super PACs. Choose truth over facts. One of them is Legat, my boss.
No, I won't give you a break on this one, Joe.
He actually straight up. I didn't see that part. I didn't see that part during the campaign.
This video contains some cut content that I feel you need to know about.
I love Elden Ring and Vadi Video. I never saw that part. During the campaign. I wish I had, because that was freaking awesome. Whoever took that part and decided to turn it into a New Vegas, they need to make an entire series of that. No joke. They need to make an entire series of that. Please don't play the Biden clip of blowing out lungs. If blowing out lungs? What? That was brilliant, Red. Thank you for that submission. If anybody else has a submission, by all means, please send it my way. Try to keep it under 3 minutes, and I'd have the and keep it TOS. Red is going to look at it before I click on it, and if he says no on that, then sorry. But by all means, please. I'm willing to talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's viewer suggestions. Rising fuel costs. This one came from Mankin. Rising fuel costs are a massive problem for businesses and consumers. Here's why they're so high. This is from CNBC. Bernie is a charlatan. They're all charlatans, man. They're all charlatans. Let's face facts. You don't get to be a politician by being completely truthful and a good person. Hey, Mankin's here. What's up? Gas is stupid expensive. Yep, so this was submitted by Mankin. The surge in gasoline prices is impossible to miss, and at the top of consumers' minds as billboards announced the gas costs now $4 or $5 or even above $6 a gallon in some places. With prices at record highs, Americans are feeling the impact at the pump immediately. But higher fuel prices are a headwind for the wider economy too, beyond just consumers having less spending money. The rising cost of fuel, especially diesel, means that anything transported on a truck, train, or ship is affected. Energy costs are a major contributor to the decades-high inflation numbers showing up as prices for all manner of goods and services march higher. Energy, in a way, is the tail wagging the dog here. Bob McNally, president of Rapidan, isn't that a Pokemon? Energy Group, said Wednesday on CNBC's Power Lunch. Diesel is really the economic fuel. It's the lifeblood of the economy, transportation power in some cases. So it really is embedded in economic activity, and it's filtered through so many goods and services. So why are fuel prices so high? The surge in gasoline prices is thanks in large part to the jump in oil prices. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is the latest catalyst to push crude higher. But prices were already on the move ahead of the war. Even before COVID, energy producers cut back on investment and less profitable projects under pressure from low prices and institutional shareholders demanding higher returns. I can already see that they're setting up to make this about greedy people, not put the blame where it needs to be. Then producers slashed output further during the throes of the pandemic, when the need for petroleum products fell off a cliff. People weren't going anywhere and businesses were shuttered. So far, less fuel was needed. Demand dropped, so suddenly the West Texas Intermediate crude, the U.S. oil benchmark, briefly traded in negative territory. Economies have since reopened, manufacturing has revived, and people are driving and flying again. This led to a surge in demand and an increasingly tight oil market beginning last fall. In November, President Joe Biden tapped the Strategic Petroleum Reserve in a coordinated effort with other nations, including India, Japan, in an effort to calm prices, but the relief was short-lived because you can't. Russia's invasion of Ukraine at the end of February sent an already fragile energy market reeling. U.S. oil shot to the highest levels since 2008 on March 7, topping $130 a barrel. Russia is the largest oil and products exporter in the world, and the European Union relies on it for natural gas. While the U.S., Canada, and others banned Russian oil imports shortly after the invasion, the European Union said it couldn't do so without detrimental consequences. Now, the bloc is trying to hammer out a sixth round of sanctions against Russia that includes oil, although Hungary is among those pushing back. Oil has since retreated from its post-invasion highs, but remains firmly above $100. To put that number in context, at the beginning of 2022, a barrel of crude fetched $75, while at this time last year, prices were closer to $63. The rapid rise in oil and therefore fuel costs is causing a headache for the Biden administration. No, really? Which has called on producers to pump more. Oil companies are reluctant to drill after pledging capital discipline to shareholders. And executives say that even if they wanted to pump more, they simply can't. They're facing the same issues. This is not telling the whole story. This article is leaving out so much. They're facing the issues that are playing out across the economy, including labor shortages and rising prices for parts and raw materials such as sand, which is key to fracking production. Oil prices make up more than half of the ultimate cost for a gallon of gasoline, but it's not the sole factor. Taxes, distribution, and refining costs also. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop it there, because this article is pissing me off. Let's recall something. Let's go back in time, all the way back to the moment Joe Biden got into office, and he said on day one, "I'm going to protect the environment. I'm gonna make the environment a healthier, better place, and in order to do that, I'm going to make the oil companies my bitch." He stopped construction on the Keystone Oil Pipeline. Okay. He began buckling down with regulations on oil companies, which were already buried in enough red tape to kill a horse, to crush its back. And then, later on down the line, Russia invades Ukraine, in part because Joe Biden lifted sanctions on a pipeline that carried or would carry Russian oil into the UK. Lifted sanctions on that, so they wanted to take Ukraine because it had, Putin thinks it belongs to him, but also it has a lot of infrastructure there for oil refinement. And it could easily move oil into the lower part of European territories, or into European territories, excuse me. Once that happened, Putin had no reason not to attack Ukraine, so he did. That war then triggered a moral question. Should we be buying oil from Russia, which we were, by quite a bit? And after some pressure, because they weren't going to originally, they stopped buying oil from Russia, making our oil crisis even worse than it already was. And now we're in this situation where we're begging other countries for oil so that our price at the pump can be lower, so that Joe Biden and the Democrats can claim that they really tackled this problem. Let me be very clear. They started this problem. And they can't fix this problem. No, more accurately, they won't fix this problem. Because what they really should do immediately is just start removing regulation after regulation after regulation after regulation. Take the red tape off the horse's back and let it walk again. This article makes it sound like, well, they can't keep up with demand. These oil companies can't keep up with demand. Of course they can't, because they can't drill. They don't have the capability. They're so buried in red tape that even land that they do have for drilling oil, they can't even start because they have to pass so many regulations from the government before they can even put a drill in the ground. Before they can even place a shovel on the ground, they have to pass so many more government regulations. And if those regulations get oil flowing from domestic sources, do it. And you'll see it, but they won't do it. They won't. Because they are allowing their agenda, their stupid agenda, to get in the way of what's better for the American people. Bernie is the ultimate charlatan. His base is the intellectual version of people who believe pro wrestling is completely real. I paid $83 for a 17.5 gallon tank of gas today. I paid $45 roughly for the same tank about 3 years ago. Well, because during Trump's administration, oil was very cheap. We could drill. The price at the pump was very low. The economy was really great. Yep, Natalie, and it is going to get worse. Just be prepared. Oh, it'll get worse before it gets better. 100%. E-bikes, here I come. I understand the strategic oil reserves. What he released was enough to cover a week. Yeah, that's a really good point, Amtrue. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is that this whole entire thing about him going out and working with in coordination with other countries and dipping into the strategic oil thing, it was not going to help. It was a headline. And then people need to understand that that was a propaganda piece. It was an action that would create a headline for media to make Biden look better. That's pretty much what it was, but it really didn't do anything. There was no real action there. It didn't stop the price at the pump from going up. It just temporarily made it seem like Joe Biden was launching into action and that the White House and the Democrats were actually doing something good for the American people. They weren't. Like everything else, it was theater. And remember, all of last week we talked about leftist theater. That was just more theater. That's all they've got now is theater. That is not a bad idea, Natalie. Might have to look at that myself. E-bikes. What? We had e-bikes all over the place in Dallas at one point in time. Now they're all gone. Like it was getting bad too, because there was like a bunch of bikes on every corner. There was like Bird App and I forget the other one. But you couldn't walk down the street without tripping over one of those damn bikes. It's from CNBC. I know. They were going to carry water, but it's they're telling half the story here. If they would actually say Joe Biden, like here's what Joe Biden did to make this happen and like covered the whole entire story, I would respect CNBC so much. But they're not going to do that because they're not a news outlet. They're a propaganda outlet. So I found a tiny flaw in our plan. I don't see when someone tweets a submission, so I physically can't vet you in advance, and no one else has posted on the Discord. Oh, I was thinking they could just try to post the link here. I thought it went straight to you for coverage. If not, that's okay. That is perfectly fine. Let me see if anyone's tweeted me. We're running out of time, but I'll address it. Someone tweeted me about police brutality in Iran. Armed police spray tear gas in the man's eye, then punch and kick him while shoving him in the car. That does not... Okay, hang on. Let me go ahead and bring this up. What the hell? That's my own stream! There we go. Whoa! Dude. Bro. The officer yells to bystanders, "Will detain all of you. I'll empty my gun on all of you." Good Lord. Police brutality in Iran is serious. Can we talk about how everyone's solution to gun control is to take guns, and no one is talking about how the schools didn't even bother to lock its damn doors? We talked about that, I think episode before last, if I'm not mistaken. It was dumb. Dumb. And the solution is definitely train and arm teachers. Learn to lock down the schools, train and arm teachers who want to be trained and armed. I'm not saying that force a gun on a teacher who doesn't want to touch a gun. That's perfectly fine. I'm sure there are many teachers out there that don't want to. But for those of you who do want to teach kids and defend them with the best means possible, by all means, go out, get trained. I say a 6-month training course. Get licensed as a carrier in a school. And anytime a shooter comes into the school, feel free. Feel free. Take the safety off, cock the gun. Go for it. I live in BFE in Iowa. E-bikes won't work for me. Oh, just ban links? We can... Oh, okay. Well, that sucks. We're going to have to plan that one out better, huh? We've been talking about it since... By the way, if you want to tweet something at me, it's at the Brandon Morse. For sure. Very telling that America expected to dedicate an entire month to celebrating gay pride every June, but only one day in July is set apart to celebrate American Pride. You'll notice that there are only days that our military gets. There's Memorial Day, Veterans Day, like all those, they just get a single day. But they're not part of the narrative. They're not part of the agenda. Why give why give that community a single day when you can give it an entire month and just push the message all month? More guns is the solution, not less. Amtrue is correct. The teacher did have door closed. He saw the gunman and went back inside and shut it behind him while on the phone with 911. It's so sad that that was a failure of law enforcement. 100 it's sad. And I say this as the son of a police officer. Like, that's shameful. Shameful. And it's just the story's getting weirder. I made the whitelist exclusive to Red State to avoid bot BS. That works. Why are they only smacking him? One of the teachers did block a back door open, though. Good for him. That story changed again this morning, half-baked. Now they're saying the teacher pulled the door shut before the shooter entered. Unfortunately, it didn't lock. Smash that like, homies! Exactly. If you haven't liked the stream already, please do me a favor and do so. Really helps me out. Sus at the very least. Agreed. The story in Uvalde keeps changing. Go figure. The story in Uvalde is the more that it evolves, the weirder it gets. Like now, like from what I understand, officers stopped working with investigators. I'm not exactly sure why they would do that. Something's going on, and I'm not about to go conspiracy theorist here. I'm gonna wait for facts to come out, but it's definitely a weird situation that warrants way more investigation. Way more. Somebody's definitely hiding something, and I don't know what it is, but I want them to find out. 19 children and 2 teachers, they deserve to find out. Those families. How did it get locked after the kids came in then? Because supposedly they needed a key to get in. Kid, not kids, as in the shooter. Yeah. How worried should we be about the Orville since Seth just thanked Disney and Hulu for its backing? Am I on Truth Social? No. I've got way too many social media outlets to keep track of. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure. Here's the thing about Seth MacFarlane, Red. I don't like many of the guy's beliefs, but if there's one thing I have learned about Seth MacFarlane, it's that he does not take well to everything from pedophilia to terrorism, sexism, like to the point of like he actively called out Matt Damon when he did not, because he said that Matt Damon knew everything that Harvey Weinstein was doing and said nothing. He called out Harvey Weinstein on stage one day and made it into a joke, but he called him out. So it's hard for me to know if Seth MacFarlane is just glad-handing funding. I don't think that he's going to change his message. If he does, then I've lost all respect for Seth MacFarlane. But Seth MacFarlane has been, in my opinion, in my experience, pretty consistent. I mean, aside from natural evolving of his beliefs, he hasn't struck me as a guy who's actually evil, So we'll see. The Orville is better than much of the sci-fi stuff coming out today, so hopefully it stays good. Questions do need to be asked. Yeah. Absolutely. About the Uvalde thing? Yeah, absolutely. And they need to be answered. The Mega Beto backing sheriff has been MIA for 2 days now. Oh, did he actually back Beto? Is that out there? I didn't see that. Because if he is, dude, we need some, that's an interesting link. Seth, if he changes, you would notice. I like Orville. Yeah, Orville's great. The Orville is much better than like like whatever they're limping to the barn with Star Trek right now. Oh, Orville is so much better. That's because Seth MacFarlane, I know a lot of people don't like him because of his positions, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to. But I mean, like, I've noticed that Seth MacFarlane has a lot more respect for like the nerd community, and he's on more than one occasion. Like, I think he even dedicated an entire episode to just like addressing and making fun of and killing off cancel culture. And I've noticed there's been like a drop, a fall off of Family Guy ever since those episodes aired. Like, people have just not been watching as much. Which, I mean, I haven't watched a lot of Family Guy lately myself, just because there's other stuff. But every now and again, I like to sit and I like to watch Family Guy. It's mindless TV, and it's from time to time very funny. So I don't know if it's actually changed or anything like that, but to be honest with you, I don't know. I hope that Seth MacFarlane does not change in order to become, like, to stay relevant. If his relevancy is fading, I hope he's not going to change in order to maintain relevancy, because otherwise I would lose all respect for the guy, and I've actually worked up a healthy respect for Seth MacFarlane, despite the fact that he and I are on opposite ends of the political spectrum. Orville Season 1 didn't sell me. Season 2 was great, but I'm a little annoyed it took him this long to get Season 3 out. He probably was, like many leftists, unwilling to film during COVID. Orville is superior to all current Trek. Yes, 100%. Not past Trek, but current Trek. Probably why he needed money from Disney and Hulu. Yeah. I think that he needed the funding. But here's the thing. If he does accept money from them, is he going to carry their water and spout their message? Is that part of the contract? I hope not, because Seth, there are many people out there who I just hope maintain some sort of decency in terms of creativity and self-respect, and Seth MacFarlane is proven himself to be something that I can get on board with as a person, not politically. Politically, he and I could not be more opposite. The Room is better than Stray. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark. You're tearing me apart, Lisa! Guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Please go to redstate.com. Awesome articles being released even as we speak right now. Go check them out, including some coming up from yours truly. Keep an eye out on the YouTube here. If you haven't liked the stream already, please do, but also subscribe, because I've got some stuff coming out soon that you're going to want to see. Follow me at the Brandon Morse on Twitter. Follow Red State too. We're on Twitter there as well. And sign up for our VIP program. Use promo code MORSE, M-O-R-S-E, on sign up for a discount. Every subscription helps us big time. They don't like us. They really don't like us, the Googles, the Associated Presses, and they try very hard to make sure that we're not getting the traction or the money necessary to keep us afloat. So every VIP subscription really helps us. Guys, I will see y'all on Friday. I think we're going to be coming live from the TP USA event in Dallas. At least I'm going to try to. It's going to be... We're trying to figure out the logistics. But if not, maybe I'll do it from here. And I will just... If you're at the TP USA event in Dallas, I'll see you there. In the meantime, guys, take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your week. Happy hump day. Be sure to put a pride flag over your avatar, because obviously if you don't, you're a bigot. All right, bye.